Yesterday we did a lot of slinging and raking in our front yard area in a ditch that was just so overgrown, mainly with Biden's alba, some cherry laurels and stuff like that. And when I started doing it kind of as the sun was going down, I didn't think I'd ever do the whole thing. I said, well, I'm going to do some, but I ended up doing it and using the rake to loosen some of it up, and I pulled it into that raised bed number 2, what was supposed to be raised bed number 2, before we decided to, put a fig tree and a loquat in there versus doing like 5 or so pineapple guavas, which was the original idea. I'm not sure what I would call that bed because I, initially said I'm just going to make a border around it. But before and during planting, I started kind of building it up like a raised aged wood chip alternative bed, like these other ones. Like this is the main one here, and then there's number 2 was where we planted that fantastic avocado. So I don't know how to classify it other than let's just go ahead and say it's a part of season 2 of the, raised bed project. Because it's going to be one of these mycorrhizal beds either way, it looks like. Anyway, I pulled as much of those Biden's alba and a few other things from that ditch into the bed. And we got a lot more to do. But I think I'm done with that for now. But we have other areas here. I know there's stuff under here where these Biden's albas and creeping daisies are. So I need to kind of navigate this and sling it or whatever and get whatever out of here that I can. I bet we have kids again bugging me. Daddy, I need to do this. I need to do that. Can I take these toys that you already got rid of and bring them back into the house? No, you cannot. Our deal was if you get a new toy, you have to get rid of an old toy. Show you guys the largest Cuban tree frog I've ever seen. That's on a papaya leaf. A lot of people are saying, well, I can't wait till global warming, climate change, whatever, makes it so I can grow mangoes and stuff here. But, we used to have a lot of these guys wiped out at least every couple winters. And now there are less and less super cold winters that wipe, 90-95% of the population out here in north central Florida. So it'll be a lost cause to try to eradicate these guys now. But maybe this island here that I'm calling my island, it's a dip that's kind of low, and we've been throwing branches and stuff on it for at least 10 years, maybe 15 or more. So on that side, it has the oldest branches, with some newer on top. This side here, we have like year and a half old branches and less. So we need to kind of knock these weeds down here, look and see where we can create some sort of raised bed here for maybe an avocado. Anyway, my train of thought sort of just left me as soon as the kids came out here making noise. I don't know if everybody's like this or if people have found a way to, just tune out kids. Yeah, this is the old side of the island here where the Sugar Bell Tangelo is. Let's see if I can knock some of the stuff at the top and look and see if we can get into that pile at all. I'm about 2 or 3 minutes in, and I'm not working super fast. And I can already see all those sticks and all piled up there. This is probably big enough to plant several things in, but I wouldn't put a bunch of giant trees in because we got, 2 or 3 trees already around this area. Cleared a lot of it out, and this is a nice little hill. It goes up even to hold my weight, so there's definitely some composting and all that has been done over the last 10 plus years. Unfortunately, before I got this, somebody used it as a burn area, and they probably burnt plastic and other stuff that wasn't so great. So this will probably never be considered a pure and organic bed here, which sucks, but it is what it is. I kind of see at this section what it looks like, but I need to get all them goldenrods and stuff over there down a little bit and start walking, tramping on it, and seeing what we have here see where we want to put some soil, magic soil, compost, potting soil, you know, and seed, maybe seed it with stuff if it's not already seeded. With this amount of composting, I'm sure there's something there. We went on that side and on the other side here, and we're back to where we were. This area here. So it's day 2 on this video. We cleared all this kind of stuff out here. Not every single bit of it, but just enough to see where the old pile of logs and stuff or sticks was. And in this area here, this is a separation because there's hardly anything here. So it's right here is the original bunch. This is where we're going to focus on now. I thought we'd get a lot more done yesterday, and I'm not sure how much we're going to get done today. But we do need to clear it out a little bit better today. Try to compress down these sticks if we can just step on them, break them, and make everything a little bit more dense and a little bit less airy. Just got some wheat bran, you know, 5, 8, 10 pounds. I'm going to put this in that mystery monkey wrench bed. And even though it's not filled up with as much weeds and stuff, this is okay. This can be in the middle versus on the top, I guess. This will feed a lot of insects and bacteria and earthworms, and I really don't have to worry about this burning the plants versus the stink water and stuff like that. So I'm just going to sprinkle it all over, get a good coat, and this will work as like a very light fertilizer, you know, if the bugs don't get it before the tree roots do. So that's about half of it or more. We'll save the rest maybe for this other bed we're working on. Back to this island bed. This island, this low dip in a not so low area. And I think we want to get it so that we can go ahead and figure out where we're going to plant that avocado and go ahead and have that area somewhat free and clear so that when we pile more stuff on here, weeds or whatever, that we don't have to dig around and break branches and all that stuff while we're doing this. And our green material, for the most part, besides the stink water and any like soybean meal or wheat bran and lime and stuff, will mostly be these Biden's alba, possibly creeping daisy, because we have such an excess of them. And if we just chop them and leave them, they're just going to go back into the ground and feed more Biden's alba, more creeping daisy, more grass that's not benefiting us. I'm also strongly considering chopping down the majority of these elderberry bushes, because the productivity is usually higher when you chop them to the ground every year, and they come back and they produce berries in that same year. So you don't have to have a 1 or 2 or 10-year-old plant shrub to produce for you. I would possibly be concerned that they would self-root, just like Biden's alba would self-root, just like creeping daisies may self-root. So having stink water and nutrients there and earthworms and maybe black soldier flies and stuff to get everything hot would be ideal, so that hopefully it kills off the life of anything that could potentially root. Right, we slung a few of these goldenrods and stuff down. I guess our dog here is going to break some of this stuff down here. Just like I said, we're trying to pack it. We're trying to break the stuff that's already weakened so that it creates like a more dense area. And I can see this is probably the most dense area right in this section. That right there is probably too airy. It probably does not have enough material. Let's see if we can take a shovel or a post hole digger and look here. You can see I got those gypsum or something there, old sheetrock, which shouldn't hurt anything. I don't know how much we're going to be able to dig. We'll have to really work this stuff and go through whatever's here, and hopefully there's no metal and stuff there. Well, there's concrete, building materials. What else are we going to find? Shall we rename this Toxicity Island? Heck, we experiment a lot. There probably is or some treated materials that's been you know, building materials and stuff here, whether a rattlesnake, weed or whatever. There's, you know, all kinds of weeds and stuff growing here. And we're going to try to make sure we get a lot of nutrients post mycorrhizal, as well as what is already in here. And we'll see what an avocado does here. If it fails, I guess it's gonna be a waste of $40, but hey, let's experiment. I've been experimenting for over 25 years with pawpaws and, you know, hawthorns and all kinds of stuff. So why stop now? So we're going to put that just like we did the other raised bed where we put the jackfruit and stuff a few inches above the ground level, because this is such a dip and I'm not sure how much mycorrhizal activity is here. Let's put it above. Let's put some of our magic soil in the bottom here, magic soil on the top, and, you know, do what we can to try to amend this guy to make it happy short term, so that in the long term, when it has all this mycorrhizal activity, it'll be a lot more happy. Just let us get through winter. If it gets through the winter, maybe it'll do okay. I don't know if you can see it, but it's probably an inch or two above that soil level, maybe a little bit more here. Put some sticks and all to sort of hold it level while I put some more magic soil. Almost every inch of this, the root system and all here, is touching that magic soil. We pulled a slight amount of the original dirt here and put a few, you know, logs and all around it, mainly because we don't have potting soil. And we're going to put some peat moss here too, and just as a filler, and we're going to water it in and see what it looks like. Rainwater, duckweed, wheat bran, and a little bit of pulverized garden lime here that we're going to water this guy in. Left wrist still isn't that great. I done spilled half of it just trying to change arms. Now we're going to have to pack that down some. A lot of that lime, I guess, stuck to the bottom. Turned into mud. It's not pretty, but there it is. So I threw a lot of the cut weeds around it, trying not to touch the trunk. And we're going to definitely nutrient drench the outside perimeter. But we'll probably put some more wheat bran and lime pretty much all over here, just to get everything started. Plus we're going to pull more weeds over time. Whether or not that happens in this video, I don't know, or future videos, but probably running out of time for this morning to do much else. It's covered in snow, wheat bran and lime. The big question is it going to survive short term, just being here in this toxic island where it's kind of wet here as well? Hopefully by raising it up on this hill a little bit, that's going to help with that. Hopefully the mycorrhizal activity is going to help with that, but it's not going to get a whole lot of early morning sunshine, but that maybe 10, 11 a.m. to 2 or 3 p.m. sun is going to hit it. But is this in the west, that pecan and red maple there, are they going to protect it enough during the summer so that it doesn't burn like them other two avocados burnt? Or are we going to have to try to protect it from the sunlight with a shade cloth or something, or maybe plant some annual tithonias or something around? Well, I just grabbed 2 of the annual tithonia seed pods, and I'll grab more, and I'm going to plant them all along that western side over there, or just throw them down there and see what happens. I was so worried that these guys wouldn't come back, you know, because I got a little seed pack one year. Second year, they're like everywhere, so they do reseed. Maybe in a harsh winter they won't, because I've been told both ways. I'm just going to crumble them up, let them go all over here, and I'll add more later back there. Perennial Mexican tithonia, way high in there, 14 feet, 16 feet, I don't know. Still not producing any flowers yet. But this is on the side of our raised bed one. And now we're going back to this monkey wrench bed 2 mystery bed. It's no longer a mystery, but we're going to throw in another monkey wrench into this bed before we get it possibly, potentially somewhat finished up. I think we're going to have more stuff later on in this thing, whether some of this stuff fails or succeeds. We have other ideas, or we're looking at ideas for this bed. Check this out. Do you guys know what this is? A lot of people probably do, but I'll tell you after we plant it. Hopefully we can get it in at the end over there or something, or in the middle here. We will see how hard it is to dig here. I wanted to put it on that end where it got a little bit more sun, but we're putting it over here on this opposite end where these elephant ears and stuff are. Maybe they'll help shade it or protect it during cold. I don't know. Did a horrible job at planting this guy. Probably should have had some gloves because I got thorns all in me, possibly from that which is dragon fruit, and possibly from the dewberries. I should have handled it with kid gloves, I guess, because it's broke there. But we can use that for like to root one or two more, I guess. I watered this guy in with the gardening lime, wheat bran, duckweed, and rainwater. Just like the last one. We'll kind of mulch it with some weeds and be done. Toxicity Island, right? So the good news about this is as we build up this and keep adding things to break down, this is going to feed the sugar bell tangelo as well, because it's so close. And this is one of the lowest dips here, and there is no hill here. You know, citrus a lot of times has the ability to be in standing water for a long time. I think sometimes if you get a flood in that first year, maybe two, like a really bad one, it can put it in decline. But once it establishes its roots and starts to get healthy and growing, it seems to not really bother it. So, but still, this will build up the soil so that it can always put up feeder roots, you know, higher as we lay all this stuff down, the weeds and logs and sticks. Leaves. When we transition out of that area with raised bed 1 and 2 and go start moving into wetlands on 1, although this doesn't have a whole lot of organic material here, this is kind of close to that magic soil area. This is also where I dug this tower out, and so I had a lot of dirt. So we created a mound here. This is higher up. We can add organic material here, and this would be very similar to that post-mycorrhizal bed, you know. And we have a little bit of everything, including a papaya here. And you can see it's kind of leggy, very not, you know, large in diameter, but it's looking happy, not showing any signs of blooming yet. It'll probably bloom before we get a frost, but I don't think it's going to do much here. But we got some amazing taro here and arrowroot. I think 1 or 2 types of ginger. We tried to do turmeric, that didn't come out, so we are probably going to transplant turmeric either before the end of this year or maybe in next year out of our raised hugelkultur type bed and put over here. I think that's about it for this episode. You know, I feel like my videos lately have lacked enthusiasm, lacked energy. I'm not always focused on task a lot of times because I'm running back and forth. I'm out of breath, dealing with kids and, you know, everything else, and trying to shoot something for you guys, and trying to get stuff done. You know, that drought really screwed us up bad, and a lot of times I may be done for the season in October, but it's October and I feel like I have to make up for, you know, some of the stuff that we missed early in the summer. I can assure you it's not lack of enthusiasm because I'm still enthusiastic about, you know, a lot of the adventures and stuff. Now I think future plans and all for the garden. I'm talking slower, like I said, out of breath because I'm running, you know, 600, 2,000 feet, whatever, back and forth, trying to get everything when I have a break. So this is my break. My break from, you know, indoors, family life, school stuff, doctor's appointments, everything is coming out and gardening, you know, and it's still 87 to 90 degrees, sometimes 94, 96. We have cooler nights occasionally in the 60s, but the humidity is really bad. The mosquitoes are pretty bad in the morning or when it's overcast. I really need to get my wheelbarrow fixed, or, you know, get the lawnmower trailer going again and making sure I have a clear path between all the potted plants and stuff to go grab those big pine logs and stuff and move them around, and other logs and sticks and all. And, you know, that does take a lot of energy when it's so hot and humid outside. And it is possible that we'll work from season 2 to season 3 with little or no break in between, you know, as the cooler weather comes along, as long as it's not raining and hurricanes and flooding. I've got plenty of work to do, even without going out and getting new plants, new potting soil and stuff, even though I really desperately need some of that stuff. It's not really about money, but I don't have a truck to haul, you know, a yard or two of potting soil. I have to clear out spaces to get it. And it means asking somebody else to haul it for me. Anyway, I think the next big project is going to be to create banana circles. And so we have pretty much all the material except maybe potting soil and more compost and a few odds and ends, at least to get the process started. We just have to start digging in the ground, getting that wheelbarrow or lawnmower trailer going, and it's a big job. I've talked about it a video or two back about we don't know what the root density is when we start digging with our shovels. So we could say, okay, I want to put it here. This is an ideal spot. We start digging in big old mulberry and pine and oak or whatever, roots that are about impossible to break through. We might just have to skip it and try to find another area. And if we don't find a suitable place to make 1 or 2 or 3 banana circles, we may end up trying it in a raised aged wood chip alternative bed, mycorrhizal bed, you know, hoping that the heat and that composting, you know, heel will protect its roots in the winter. Because, you know, we talked about that banana experiment where we put them in raised beds and almost all their roots froze and they died and didn't come back after the first winter. All right, guys, y'all take care.